Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Pushti Mataji and Deepak Prabhuji, for the very nice recitation. Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, dear devotees. Can you see the slides on the screen?
Yes, Mataji.
Thank you. My humble obeisances to all the devotees. Thank you so much, Pushti Mataji and Deepak Prabhu, for wonderful recitation. Please accept my humble obeisances, all the devotees. I'm very grateful to be here to discuss Krishna Katha in your association. We'll start with the prayers. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. ॐ अज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरुवे नमः। श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूपः कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वापदान्तिकं। वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरो श्रीयुतपदकमलं श्रीगुरून् वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सहगणा रघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनासहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधा कृष्णपादान् सहगणा ललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितांश्च श्रीकृष्ण करुणा सिन्धो दीनबन्धो जगत्पते गोपेशा गोपिका कान्ता राधा कान्ता नमोऽस्तुते। तप्त काञ्चन गौराङ्गी राधे वृन्दावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये। वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैता गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। मुखं करोति वाचालं पङ्गुं लङ्घयते गिरिं यत्कृपातमहं वन्दे श्रीगुरुदीनतारिणं परमानन्दमाधवं कृष्णचैतन्येश्वरम्। नारायणं नमस्कृत्य नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयामुदीरयेत्। नष्टप्रायेषु भद्रेषु नित्यं भागवत सेवया भगवते उत्तमश्लोके भक्तिर्भवति नैष्ठिकी। सतां प्रसङ्गान् मम वीर्यसंविदो भवन्ति हृत्कर्णरसायना कथाः तज्जोषनादाशपवर्गवर्त्मनि श्रद्धारतिर्भक्तिरनुक्रमिष्यति। We are discussing Canto 3, Chapter 25, The Glories of Devotional Service. And the chapter is broken down in these verses. There are 5 main topics. So first 5 shlokas are about Shaunaka Rishi's eagerness to hear about Lord Kapila. Then Devhuti Mataji asks questions to Lord Kapila. He explains Adhyatmika Yoga and its description, which is answer to Mother Devhuti's first question. Then there are further questions from Mother Devhuti, and then last verses, Lord Kapila answers question 2. So this is how it is broken down. And today we are discussing part of Adhyatmika Yoga in verse 25 and 26. So we will recite today's shloka, read the translation and purport, and then try and discuss. My understanding is we are also doing verse number 26. So there's not much discussion there. We'll keep it for the second part, and we will discuss the first verse, which is very important verse for this chapter. And as you know, we are also reciting this shloka when we in the beginning as part of our prayers. So we will try and discuss by your blessings, try and discuss this shloka today. So verse 25, Tatam prasangan mama virya samvido bhavanti ratkarna rasayana kathaha tajjoshanada shapavarga vartvani shraddha ratir bhaktir anukramishyati. Translation and purport by Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. In the association of pure devotees, discussion of the pastimes and activities of the Supreme Personality of Godhead is very pleasing and satisfying to the ear and the heart. By cultivating such knowledge, one gradually becomes advanced on the path of liberation, and thereafter he is freed and his attraction becomes fixed. Then real devotion and devotional service begin. Purport. The process of advancing in Krishna consciousness and devotional service is described here. The first point is that one must seek the association of persons who are Krishna conscious and who engage in devotional service. Without such association, one cannot make advancement. Simply by theoretical knowledge or study, one cannot make any appreciable advancement. One must give up the association of materialistic persons and seek the association of devotees, because without the association of devotees, one cannot understand the activities of the Lord. Generally, people are convinced of the impersonal feature of the absolute truth because they do not associate with devotees. They cannot understand that the absolute truth can be a person and have personal activities. This is a very difficult subject matter, and unless one has personal understanding of the absolute truth, there is no meaning to devotion. Service or devotion cannot be offered to anything impersonal. Service must be offered to a person. Non devotees cannot appreciate Krishna consciousness by reading the Srimad Bhagavatam or any other Vedic literature wherein the activities of the Lord are described. They think that these activities are fictional, manufactured stories because spiritual life is not explained to them in the proper mood. To understand the personal activities of the Lord, one has to seek the association of devotees, and by such association, when one contemplates and tries to understand the transcendental activities of the Lord, the path to liberation is open and he is freed. One who has firm faith in the Supreme Personality of Godhead becomes fixed, and his attraction for association with the Lord and the devotees increases. Association with devotees means association with the Lord. The devotee who makes this association develops the consciousness for rendering service to the Lord, and then, being situated in the transcendental position of devotional service, he gradually becomes perfect. Such a beautiful purport. Only when we read purport by reading shloka, okay, it is nice. We like the meter, the recitation, and then the translation also guides us about the meaning of the verse. But only when we read Srila Prabhupada's purport, we see so much light in it and we can actually understand what is the meaning of the shloka. So, very grateful for Srila Prabhupada's books and his purports. So, as we know, just briefly, that this is the teachings of Kapila Dev starts from 25th chapter and up to 32nd chapter of Canto 3, and chapter 33 is prayers of Mother Devahuti. So, after the retirement of Kardama Muni, he becomes a renunciant, he goes to the forest, and Mother Devahuti stays at home. And she hears teachings from Kapila Dev at the time. And at the time of the appearance of Kapila Dev, Devahuti had heard from Brahma that she will be enlightened by her son, Kapila. So she remembers the words of Brahma, and now she goes to Kapila Dev and she asks him 7 questions over 8 chapters. And the first question she asks is that, my dear Lord, please dispel my darkness of ignorance of aham mameti. I am in illusion due to my ignorance. And this conception about Maya, which is about I and mine, is completely bewildering me. So, by enlightening me, you are like my transcendental I, and you give me divine vision by teaching philosophical conclusions. And thus she requests him, and she takes shelter of her own son, who is Lord Kapila Dev. So then Kapila Dev describes Adhyatmika Yoga as a solution to the first question of how to remove the illusion of ignorance. Here, Mother Devahuti is representing us, the conditioned souls. So, through her, we are learning this very, very crucial and important teachings. So, she's just for our benefit asking these questions. And these explanations are very much beneficial to the whole humanity. So, Adhyatmic Yoga is a combination of 3 elements. First is Gnana Yoga or Sankhya Yoga. Second, he will explain Kapila Dev is he talks about Gnana or Sankhya Yoga. Second is Ashtanga Yoga, and thirdly Bhakti Yoga. And out of the three, Bhakti is the most supreme yoga. So, and that is the spiritual way to connect with the Supreme. And Kapila Dev will elaborate on Bhakti Yoga and explain how it is the supreme and topmost yoga. And just few verses before this previous verses, Kapila Dev says that mind is the pivot. It is the mind. If the mind is attached to matter, then it causes bondage in this material world. And if the mind is attached to the Supreme Lord, then it gives us liberation. So it is the mind that is the pivot. And symptoms of a liberated mind is that he is free from lust and greed, and he transcends the dualities of material world. Dualities like, happiness, distress, victory and failure, these kind of dualities. He's above all this. And then he sees soul as transcendental, and he sees soul is self-effulgent. And this happens by bhakti, which is endowed with knowledge and detachment. And this gives a person right perspective to understand. So, Sankhya and Gnana and Ashtanga Yoga, they are dependent on bhakti. They are not completely independent, and they are incomplete without bhakti. That is why bhakti is the supreme path. And how to attain this bhakti then? So, in the previous verses, he says it is by the association of devotees, sadhus, bhaktas. And in verse 20, he even explains how to get that bhakti. And the verse is Prasanga Majaram Pasham Atmana Kavayo Viduhu Saeva Sadhushu Krito Mokshadvaram Apavritam. If one associates with materialistic people, then one will degrade himself. But if one associates with exalted devotees of the Lord, then one opens doors for liberation. And he explains wonderful characteristics of sadhu. So, okay, we have to associate with sadhus. So, what are their characteristics? So, then he goes on to explain the primary and secondary characteristics of sadhus. And first, he will explain the secondary characteristics, and that is in verse 21. He says, Titikshava Karunika, Suruda Sarvadehinam, Ajatas Chatrava Shanta, Sadhava Sadhu Bhushanaha. So these are all the qualities of a sadhu. He is tolerant, merciful, friendly to all the living beings. He has no enemies. He is very peaceful, and he abides by the scriptures, and all his characteristics are sublime. And then the primary characteristic of a sadhu, Kapila Dev explains in verse 22. मय्यनन्येन भावेन भक्तिं कुर्वन्ति ये दृढां मत्कृते त्यक्तकर्माणस्त्यक्त स्वजन बान्धवाः. So he says to perform devotional service unto Krishna without any deviation in the mind, with firm fixed faith and firm mind, he focuses on loving devotional service to Lord Krishna. These are the characteristics of a sadhu, and the primary characteristic is always bhakti. Because if one has bhakti, then all these good qualities will automatically follow. As there is verse in fifth canto, yasyasti bhaktir bhagavati akinchana, sarve gune tatra samasate suraha. So we have to develop Vaishnava character, and that happens first with from taking initiation from a guru. So we receive a bhakti seed. The seed has to be potent, and the seed will be potent when we have received initiation from a bona fide guru, a Vaishnava guru. And then once we receive this seed, we need to water it nicely. And that watering process is regular sadhana, Shravanam, Kirtanam, Swadhyaya, and these are the elements of bhakti. And thirdly, we need fertile soil, and fertile soil is compared to we need to develop Vaishnava qualities. We have to have a very respectable character and qualities like compassion, humility. All these qualities we need to develop. And all three are required to nourish the seed to grow. And then our Bhakti Lata will advance nicely to the lotus feet of Lord Krishna. Thus we come to the verse 25. Now we can understand we spoke about watering, Shravanam and Kirtanam, and that is why I was discussing this, because our verse talks about that. Where we will get this Shravanam and Kirtanam, where we will hear the Krishna Katha, and that happens best in the association of the devotees. Srila Prabhupada says, in the association of pure devotees, discussion of the pastimes and activities of the Lord is very pleasing and satisfying to the ear and heart. By cultivating such knowledge, because when we will hear by that Shravanam, we will cultivate knowledge about Krishna, and gradually it happens slowly. It does not happen overnight, because many times people come to Krishna Katha, or they will go and listen to kathas or hear online, but it has to be done a lot. It has to be done regularly. It is like a flow, like a pravaha. It should not stop. It should be daily, every day, because then it will, if we just hear, sometimes it becomes attractive, Krishna Katha, but what happens is that it does not become achievable. It doesn't look like all the goals that we are hearing. They sound very high and lofty, especially the Srimad Bhagavatam standard is very high. So what happens is that it will look very attractive, but we'll think, oh, how is this possible, Krishna Prema, and how we will be not be affected by dualities of life. But when it is constantly every day someone is hearing, then it will look like it is achievable. That is why constant hearing is very important, and here it is very much emphasized that gradually this will happen. It is a process, and that is why we need to hear from very advanced devotees. And everyone knows that there are different gradations of devotees. There are Kanishta, there is Madhyama, Uttama Adhikari devotees, and we know there is a Mishra Bhaktas, Karma, Gnana, and Yoga Mishra Bhaktas. And even Bhagavad Gita speaks about Artha, Jignasu, Artha Arti, and Gnani Bhaktas. And some Bhaktas, they do Rajasic, Tamasic, or Sattvic Bhakti, and some do Nirguna Bhakti. So there are different devotees, and all these are the shades of bhakti, which is explained in 29th chapter in detail. But what I'm trying to say here is that in this shloka and purport, Srila Prabhupada clearly says that seek the associations of person who are Krishna conscious and they are engaged in devotional service. And we need to at the same time give up the association of materialistic persons, because it is two ways, prescription and prohibition. Prescription is that seek the association and stay in that good association, and prohibition is we need to give up the association of materialistic persons. We can't at the same time do both things, then we will not have that effect, because we want to not only hear with firm faith, but we also want to render service, and this ruchi will come, attraction will come gradually, and this will happen, and one day we will become perfect. But for this, a constant shravanam, kirtanam, and we know in the seventh canto of Srimad Bhagavatam, Prahlad Maharaj has given in the fifth verse all the 9 processes of bhakti: Shravanam, Kirtanam, Vishnu, Smaranam, Pada Sevanam, Archanam, Vandanam, Dasyam, Sakhyam, Atmanivedanam. And the foremost are hearing and speaking and chanting, Kirtanam and Shravanam. And there is also so many verses like 11:3:30 speaks about parasparanu kathanam, pavanam bhagavati yashaha, mithoratir mithotushtir, nivrittir mita atmanaha. Whoever we meet, because these senses are given to us by Krishna. And when we engage them in Krishna's service, then only our senses are chaste. So this is what, whoever we meet, we need to do this. And the litmus test for good association is that association where there is constant Krishna Katha. Whoever we meet, we discuss. And even Bhagavad Gita says, Machitta Matkata Prana Bodhayanta Parasparam. Right? There also it is explained by Krishna very clearly that how important it is. These are the symptoms of pure devotees. When they meet, they discuss Krishna Katha. They talk about the glories of Krishna, because we know there are so many pastimes. 1:3:26 says Asankhya. Krishna has taken so many incarnations, and there are so many wonderful pastimes, because he comes here for this purpose, to attract us and perform this pastime. So we will develop taste to go back, right? Paritranaya sadhunam vinashaya cha dushkritam dharma samsthapanarthaya sambhavami yuge yuge. I am coming for this person reason to attract us. So Krishna says here in this verse, Mama Virya Sambido, let us fill our discussions with glories of Krishna. Then Sa Eva Sadhushu Krito Moksha Dwaram Apavritam. As 3:25:20 says, liberation will be reinstated in loving service to Krishna. So Krishna Katha done by pure devotees is very pleasing to the heart. And when the greater lovers of Krishna, they speak Krishna Katha, that has greater purifying effect on our consciousness. So we need to search out, we need to hear, we need to read from Srila Prabhupada, because say someone neophyte like me will speak about Krishna is Supreme Personality of Godhead. But when we hear that same sentence from Srila Prabhupada, just one sentence, Krishna is Supreme Personality of Godhead. When Srila Prabhupada says that, that touches our heart. It has greater effect. It has got all the potency to remove the all the anarthas within our heart. The more and more we hear and read and understand in the light of Srila Prabhupada, then we can come to the essence of Bhagavad Gita, which is Manmana Bhava Madbhakto Madhyajimam Namaskuru Mame Vaishyasi Konteya Yuktvaitvam Matparayanaha. So here, this we need to bathe our mind in Krishna's Nama Rupa Guna Lila, and time is less. This human birth is so important, so rare, and we need to use this body to fill our consciousness. Our mind should be saturated in Krishna Katha. I was hearing His Holiness Sachinandan Swami Maharaj class recently that he gave at Govardhan, and he was explaining that he is hearing so much Krishna Katha and so much holy name he is chanting in Kirtan, that even during the night his mind is just playing Krishna's names. It is 24/7, and that is called Man Mana Bhava Madbhakto. Even during the sleep, he is only thinking about Krishna. So we need to come to that stage, and for that, whatever time is there to hand, we need to do Manmana Bhava Madbhakto by Shravanam, because we will only know about someone we have not seen by hearing about him, by gaining knowledge about him. And with knowledge, detachment will come and then bhakti will come. And this will all happen very gradually. And in this verse, it is saying basically that what will happen? That from inferior association of sadhus, what will happen is we will come to the stage of bhajan kriya. But Krishna Katha is what happens is that when we go here from uh, higher authority, a more advanced devotee, then we will go to the higher stages. And we know these are all the stages to make progress on the path of bhakti. And this verse says that this verse, Krishna Katha in association of devotees, has the potency to take us right from the first stage, Shraddha, up to Prema. Devotional love for Krishna, the highest stage, it can take us to there. And this verse talks about bhajan kriya, anartha nivrutti, nishtha, ruchi, asakti, bhava, and prema. We will come up to the stage of prema. See, here it says shraddha, we will develop, then rati, means we will develop a lot of excuse me, we will develop interest, and then what will happen is that we will develop. Let's have a look. Shraddha, Ratir, Bhaktir, Anukramishati, right? Rati, Shraddha, Bhakti, Anukramishati. All this will happen Anukramishati gradually. So we need to discuss Krishna Katha all the time. And then I was going through, there are so many verses in Srimad Bhagavatam. The great souls of Srimad Bhagavatam are exhibiting that they themselves, their primary aspiration is to hear Krishna Katha in association of devotees. And here, even the words that we recite before reading Srimad Bhagavatam, Nashtaprayeshu Bhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya, Nityam. Bhakti Bhagavati Uttama Shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naishtiki, by regular attendance in class in Srimad Bhagavatam, by rendering of service to the pure devotee. Both these things are mentioned here by Srila Prabhupada, that you need to attend the class in association of devotees and render service. Same thing is here. And then what will happen? All that is troublesome to the heart is almost completely destroyed, and loving service to Lord, who is praised with transcendental songs, is established as an irrevocable fact. Wow, that is so amazing. And depending on how much time we have, we can discuss that how there are so many devotees within Srimad Bhagavatam who are aspiring for this, that they just, even after taking darshan of the Lord, when Lord will ask, what is the benediction you want? They are all saying one thing, that they want to keep, if they are to come back here or wherever they are, material or spiritual world, they want to keep hearing Krishna's glories, that is the nectar to the ears and the heart. And they want association of devotees, and they want friendly relations with devotees. So when even Lord gives darshan, and this is what they are asking. So it is like your purpose and goal is same. Even before taking darshan of the Lord, you are doing the same activity. You are praying, you are doing bhajan kriya, you are doing shravanam kirtanam. And the Lord comes in front of you, gives darshan, you are asking for the same thing. The goal is also the same, that I want to keep continuing doing this, because there is no point in asking material benedictions, that those will become the greatest obstacles. And these great souls have realized it, that they want to become free of every single material desire, because that's when one is a pure devotee. Then one can do manmana bhava madbhakto, and that is the greatest achievement every single pure devotee is after. They want this. And when Lord came in front of Dhruv Maharaj, we know he, at the age of such a 5-year-old boy, 6 months, he is worshipping Lord Vishnu with such a determination, as he was guided by his Guru Narad Muni. And when Lord comes in front of him, he does not know what to say, how to speak, he does not have all the transcendental words to himself. He doesn't have those vocabularies, and he doesn't have the knowledge of Vedas. And Lord will touch the conch, and then he says, Bhaktim muhu pravahatam tvai me prasango bhuyadananta mahatam अमलाशयानां येनाञ्जशोल्बनमुरु व्यसनं भवाब्धिं नेशे भवद्गुणकथामृतपानमत्तः. Dhruv Maharaj said, O unlimited Lord, kindly bless me so that I may associate with great devotees who engage in your transcendental loving service constantly, as the waves of a river constantly flow. Such transcendental devotees are completely situated in an uncontaminated state of life. By the process of devotional service, I shall surely be able to cross the nascent ocean of material existence, which is filled with the waves of blazing fire like dangers. It will be very easy for me, for I am becoming mad to hear about your transcendental qualities and pastimes, which are eternally existent. So this is the question of Mother Devhuti as well, right? Today, that how to cross over the nascent ocean of material existence, how to remove the illusion of ignorance, aham mameti. That is why we are here. And when that is removed, we will be liberated. So this is what Dhruv Maharaj is asking. And then there is also very nice verse by Parikshit Maharaj. He is asking for three worthy aspirations. पुनश्च भूयात् भगवती अनन्ते रतिप्रसङ्गश्च तदाश्रयेषु महत्सु यां यामुपयामि सृष्टिं मैत्री अस्तु सर्वत्र नमोद्विजेभ्यः. Again, offering obeisances unto all of you Brahmanas, I pray that if I should again take my birth in the material world, I want three things. I will have complete attachment to the unlimited Lord Krishna. I will get association with his devotees and friendly relations with all living beings. And what he will do when he will get association of devotees, he will discuss Hari Katha, Krishna Katha, Sankirtanam, singing the glories of the Lord. That's what happens in association of devotees. And Prithu Maharaj, when he was blessed with the visit of four Kumaras, he gives them such a great reception with so much awe and reverence and so much faith and respect. He welcomes them, washes their lotus feet, gives them a great asana to sit, and then he wants to hear Hari Katha from them. And Prithu Maharaj desired millions of years to hear Krishna Katha from the mouths of pure devotees. So he could hear Krishna Katha happening at many places. I mean, he wants millions of years because we have only 2 years, we can only hear this much. But he said if he had millions, then he can hear millions of Harikatha simultaneously. न कामयेनाथ तदपि अहं क्वचिन्न यत्र युष्मच्चरणाम्बुजासवः महत्तमान्तर्हृदयान्मुखच्युतो विधस्व कर्णायुतमेष मे वरः. My dear Lord, I therefore do not wish to have the benediction of merging into your existence. A benediction in which there is no existence of the nectarian beverage of your lotus feet, right? He says, I don't want to merge into your existence. He's talking about Brahma Jyoti, and this is what Srila Prabhupada is we coming back to our purport today. He is very clearly mentioning here that people are convinced of the impersonal feature of the absolute truth. This is where the danger is. Lord is person. He is saying Krishna is person. These people, they do not associate with devotees. Then they cannot understand absolute truth because Lord is a person and he has personal activities. How many leelas are there Krishna had done in Vrindavan? These are all personal activities. This is a very difficult subject matter, and that is why we need to take association of devotees. They will explain to us as it is by reading Srimad Bhagavatam. And this is why here, same thing is here. Prithu Maharaj is saying that I don't want to merge in Brahman because once I go there, there is no Krishna Katha there. It is Shunya. There is nothing there. And I want association. I want devotees. Only in their presence I can hear Hari Katha. What I will do going there? I want benediction of at least 1 million years, for thus I may be able to hear about the glories of your lotus feet from the mouths of your pure devotees, and thus we can fill our mind with Krishna Katha, and everything else unfavorable to bhakti will come out of our minds. And when the mind becomes saturated with bhakti, then only we can please the Lord, we can go back. And Prachetas are asking for the same benediction after hearing Rudra Gita from Lord Shiva. And when Lord Vishnu comes and gives darshan, Prachetas requested the Lord, the association of devotees engaged in Krishna Katha, these great souls, they are all asking one thing. यावत्ते मायया स्पृष्टा भ्रमाम इह कर्मभिः तावद्भवत्प्रसङ्गानां सङ्गस्यान्नो भवे भवे. Dear Lord, as long as we have to remain within this material world due to our material contamination and wander from one type of body to another and from one planet to another, we pray that we may associate with those who are engaged in discussing your pastimes. We pray for this benediction life after life in different bodily forms and on different planets. So this is what Prachitas are saying. We don't mind where we go, wherever we go, whether it is heaven or hell, earth or spiritual planet, wherever it is Vaikuntha, wherever you send us, please make sure that you give us association of devotees who are engaged in discussing your pastimes so we can do Shravanam and we can always remember you. And these are the topmost gopis of Vraja, the gopis of Vrindavan. So they are also singing this in Govinda Damodar Madhaveti, right? They are singing Gruhe Gruhe Gopavadhu Kadamba Sarve Militva Samavaya Yoge Punyani Namani Pathanti Nityam Govinda Damo Madhaveti. Actually, they are so absorbed in Krishna and in Krishna Katha that when they are also going to sell their butter and their milk products, they are saying not buy the milk and buy the yogurt from me. They are saying someone buy Govind, someone buy Madhav, someone buy Damodar. Everything to them is Krishna only. And here we can see that in house after house, groups of cowherd ladies gather on various occasions and together they always chant the transcendental names of Krishna, Govind, Damodar, Madhava. These are the gopis, they are the topmost devotees, dearmost to Krishna. And even they are saying that they want to continuously hear Hari Katha. Tava Kathamritam Tapta Jivanam Kavipiriditam Kalmashapaham Shravanamangalam Srimadattatam Bhuvi Grinanti Bhurida Jana. Those who are speaking Krishna Katha, they are Bhurida Jana. They are the most munificent. The nectar of your words and the descriptions of your activities are the life and soul of those suffering in this material world. These narrations transmitted by learned sages eradicate one's sinful reactions and bestow good fortune upon whoever hears them. Whoever will hear, they are the most fortunate. These narrations are broadcast all over the world and are filled with spiritual power. We are talking about our potent seed we've got from Guru. Now we are watering it, and this is the process. Certainly, those who spread this message of Godhead are most munificent. They are the most compassionate because the greatest charity one can do is bring another come closer to Krishna. This is the greatest benevolent act one can do. And even we know that Vrajavasis, every day the Gopas will go in the pasture grounds with the cows and calves to graze them and to feed them grass. But they will come back with some story that day that which demon Krishna killed today. And this is the way, amongst all these miseries and tribulations, their greatest thing that keeps them going is the Krishna Katha, because the Gopas and all the Krishna's friends and boys will come, and every house they will be telling what happened today. And this is what keeps them going. And Nanda Baba and all the elder Gopas will also sit down and they will all be hearing Krishna Katha. What happened today when they went to graze the cows in the pasture grounds? when they went to Vana. So no tribulations is there for those who are relishing Krishna Katha. Iti nandadayo gopa Krishna Rama Katha muda kurvanto ramamanascha navindam bhava vedana. What is the way to come out of this bhava, material world's vedana, miseries? The way is in this way, all the cowherd men headed by Nanda Maharaj enjoyed topics about the pastime of Krishna and Balaram with great transcendental pleasure, and they could not even perceive material tribulations. Yes, it was very, very, they were in the midst of these tribulations. Every day you can see a new demon comes. But when they hear that Krishna killed them and how he killed them, no weapons are used. His fist, his hands, his legs, all this. And then he has killed. We can see Shakatasuri here. He's done the Mridabhakshan Leela. He's killing Trinavrata, Bakasur, Kalia, and then we know Aghasur, and how he is playing with all the Gopas and Gopis. He's stealing butter. Here is the Putana pastime. All this is happening all the time. All the time, their topic of discussion is Krishna. Even when the gopis are washing clothes or they are looking after their children or they are talking to the neighboring gopis, their discussion is Krishna, that today he came in my house and how he stole the butter. And the other gopi will say, I kept everything ready, but he didn't come to my house only. And they will have all these different things. It is just centered around Krishna. And Vritrasur, the devotee in the body of a demon, he is praying, give me association of devotees. These are the very nectarian devotional prayers of Vritrasur 24, 25, 26, 27, which we try to memorize and we try to recite. And one of them is this Mamottama Shloka Janeshu Sakhyam Samsara Chakre Brahmata Swakarmabhi त्वन्माययात्मा मजदारगेहे श्वासक्तचित्तस्य ननाथ भूयात्. O my Lord, my Master, I am wandering throughout this material world as a result of my fruitive activities. Therefore, I simply seek friendship in the association of your pious and enlightened devotees. My attachment to my body, wife, children, and home is continuing by the spell of your external energy, but I wish to be attached to them no longer. Let my mind, my consciousness, and everything I have be attached only to you. Now, here he is saying, my body, my wife, children, and home. The way we have to see it is that yes, we are grihastha, most of us here, and these are our family members. Our home, children, wife, or husband is very, very important. But the way to see this in the light is that they are also Krishna's children, and we are together in this lifetime. We all belong to Krishna, and our responsibility is to give Krishna to everyone who is around us, to discuss Krishna Katha. By keeping Krishna in the center, everyone is very, very important. We have to have very loving, Krishna conscious relations with our spouse, children. We need to look after the home. See, detachment does not mean irresponsibility, and responsibility does not mean attachment. We need to bring that balance whereby we look after our surroundings, keep it clean in a responsible way. Our relations with people are loving and kind and generous and compassionate by keeping Krishna in the center. This is very, very important. So then even Lakshmi ji accepts perfection of chanting, hearing and Krishna Katha. And this is in the fourth canto of Srimad Bhagavatam in the episode with, if I'm not wrong, Prithu Maharaj. Yasha Shivam Shushrava Arya Sangame Yadruchaya Chopashunoti Te Sakrit Katham Gunogno Viramed Vinapasham Shiryat Prabhre Gunasangra Hechaya. My dear highly glorified Lord, if one in the association of pure devotees hears even once the glories of your activities, he does not, unless he is nothing but an animal, give up the association of devotees. For no intelligent person would be so careless as to leave their association. The perfection of chanting and hearing about your glories was accepted even by the goddess of fortune, who desire to hear of your unlimited activities and transcendental glories. Yes, this is the shloka spoken by Prithu Maharaj. He says how Lakshmi ji is so attached to the lotus feet of Lord Vishnu, always massaging and serving the Lord, is also so much wishing and wanting to hear Krishna Katha in association of devotees. So, this is how it is. Maharaj Prithu points out that even the goddess of fortune wants constant, who is a constant companion of Lord, wanted to hear about Lord's glories, and for the association of the gopis who are pure devotees, the goddess of fortune Lakshmi underwent severe austerities. Srila Prabhupada explains in the purport of this 4:20:26, the impersonalist may ask why one should bother chanting Hare Krishna Maha Mantra. Why I chose this purport is again here Srila Prabhupada is speaking about impersonalist, why we Krishna is a person, and this is how we learn in that light from a proper devotee, advanced devotee who will explain to us that Krishna is personal person. That same thing is repeated here in 4:20:26 by Srila Prabhupada, and that's why when I was reading the purport, I could see the parallel that impersonalists may ask why one should bother chanting continuously for so many years instead of stopping and trying for kaivalya, liberation, or merging into the existence of Lord. In the answer, Maharaj Prithu maintains that the attraction of this chanting is so great that one cannot give up the process unless he is an animal. This is the case even if one comes in contact with transcendental vibration by chance. Even by chance, someone has heard it, he will be purified. That's how powerful and potent Hare Krishna Mahamantra and glories of Krishna are, his names. Prithu Maharaj is very emphatic in this connection. Only an animal can give up the practice of chanting Hare Krishna. Those who are not animals but actually intelligent, advanced humans, civilized men cannot give up this practice of continually chanting Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. So that's what Prithu Maharaj says here. And there is like that so many shlokas. I think I'm supposed to speak till 8:45. There is also 4:20-23. You can look up. Sanat Kumar instructed that one should mold his life in such a way that he cannot live in peace without drinking the nectar of Krishna Katha. So every day one may hear, read, speak, or write Srimad Bhagavatam, write shlokas, or hear, or read, or speak, do all four or do at least one activity, but we should mold our life in such a way that it is the most important integral part of our day. He says that Vina Harer Gun Piyush Panat. We should not live without drinking this nectar Hari Katha. And we know in the very popular, very sweet verse of Bhagavatam, which is loving invitation to come and hear Bhagavatam. Nigama kalpataroर्गलितं फलं शुकमुखादमृतद्रव संयुतं पिबत भागवतं रसमालयं मुहुरः रसिका भुवि भावुका. O expert and thoughtful men, relish Srimad Bhagavatam, the mature fruit of the desire tree of Vedic literature. It emanated from the lips of Sri Shukdev Goswami. Therefore, this fruit has become even more tasteful, although its nectarian juice was already relishable for all, including liberated souls. So, whether one is a neophyte devotee, one is new, or one is very advanced, there is something for everyone to relish within Srimad Bhagavatam, and it does not, this fruit, mango fruit, has no objectional parts. It doesn't have the peel or seed, it is pure juice. Just drink. Pibata Bhagavatam Rasamalayam. Drink the nectar. And we know qualities of Lord relieves our distress, like how we recited Iti Nanda Dayo Gopa. Even Prachetas are saying, Namo Namah Klesha Vinashanaya Niropito Dara Gunavayaya Manovacho Vega Puro Javaya Sarvakshamarge Ragatadvane Namaha. The Prachetas said, Dear Lord, You relieve all kinds of material distress. Your magnanimous transcendental qualities and holy name are all auspicious. This conclusion is already settled. You can go faster than the speed of mind and words. You cannot be perceived by material senses. We therefore offer you respectful obeisances again and again. And this is also the gratitude of Prachetas when they got the darshan of Lord Vishnu. They remembered Lord Shiva, that it is by the mercy and guidance of Lord Shiva that we have got your darshan today. So this is the gratitude. Even after getting the Lord face to face, they are remembering their Guru. They are remembering Vaishnavanam Yatha Shambhu, the greatest Vaishnava who gets so happy if we do Krishna Bhakti. And even hearing Ramayana removes all our envy, hearing about Lord Ram and Lord Krishna. That's in ninth canto, 9, 11, 23. पुरुषो रामचरितं श्रवणेरुपधारयन् अनृशम्य परो राजन् कर्मबन्धैर्विमुच्यते. O King Parikshit, anyone who orally receives the narrations concerning the characteristics of Lord Ramchandra's pastimes will ultimately be freed from the disease of envy and thus be liberated from the bondage of fruitive activities. And then it brings us to the second verse of the shloka. Now, we have spoken about pure bhakti in Srila Prabhupada explains, and Kapila Dev speaks, verse 25, that is pure bhakti. And now, because as we said that the Adhyatmika yoga has Sankhya yoga, when it is just yoga mentioned, here is Ashtanga yoga and bhakti. So now in this verse, Kapila Dev explains Ashtanga yoga. That is why there is not much discussion here because this is lesser yoga, which is not independent of bhakti and it depends on bhakti. So bhaktya puman jat viraga indriya drishta shrutan mad rachna anuchintaya चित्तस्य यत्तो ग्रहणे योगयुक्तो यतिष्यते रुभिर् योगमार्गैः. Thus, consciously engaged in devotional service in the association of devotees, a person gains distaste for sense gratification, both in this world and in next, by constantly thinking about the activities of the Lord. This process of Krishna consciousness is the easiest process of mystic power. When one is actually situated on that path of devotional service, he is able to control the mind. So, as we know, Ashtanga Yoga is all about controlling the mind. And if we read Bhagavad Gita in the sixth chapter, it is already explained in the verses 3 and 4, two levels of Ashtanga Yoga, whereby Yama, Niyama, Asana, Pranayam, Pratyahar, Dharana, Dhyana, Samadhi is explained. And so we know what is Ashtanga Yoga about, and we will read Srila Prabhupada's purport and conclude for the day. Sorry to keep you. Have taken few minutes more. I'll read the purport. In all scriptures, people are encouraged to act in a pious way so that they can enjoy sense gratification not only in this life but also in the next. For example, one is promised promotion to the heavenly kingdom of higher planets by pious fruitive activities. But a devotee in the association of devotees prefers to contemplate the activities of the Lord, how he has created this universe, how he is maintaining it, how the creation dissolves, and how in the spiritual kingdom the Lord's pastimes are going on. This is what we discussed. There are full literatures describing these activities of Lord, especially Bhagavad Gita, Brahma Samhita, and Srimad Bhagavatam. The sincere devotee who associates with devotees gets the opportunity to hear and contemplate the subject of the pastimes of the Lord. And the result is that he feels distaste for so called happiness in this or that world, which is true because if we will hear continuously many times all these pastimes, the verses and the lessons from it, they all connect, and we will be able to, over the period of time, with repeated hearing and reading, be able to connect. The shlokas, the pastime, and the lessons are again and again repeated. And thus we will then contemplate because our mind will be filled with this. Then, when something is there in the mind for a long time, it will create impressions and then we will contemplate on it. We will do manmana. That's what Srila Prabhupada says. And then we will have distaste for other so-called happiness of this material world, which is temporary. The devotees are simply interested in being transferred to the personal association of the Lord. They have no more attraction for temporary so-called happiness. So many verses we just recited whereby these devotees don't want Brahman. They don't want to go there. They want association of devotees and Krishna Katha and Bhakti. That is the position of one who is Yoga Yukta. Yoga Yukta means one who is Krishna conscious, one who is whose mind is connected with Krishna. One who is fixed in mystic power is not disturbed by the allurement of this world or that world. He is interested in the matters of spiritual understanding or the spiritual situation. This sublime situation is very easily attained by the easiest process, Bhakti Yoga. Rujibir Yoga Marge, as this word says, a very suitable word used here is Rujbi or very easy. This is very easy. Bhakti is easy. There are different processes of yoga marg, attaining yoga perfection. But this process, devotional service to the Lord, is easiest. As we know, yama, niyama, asana, all this. But when the secondary stages come, dharana, dhyana, focusing the mind, it is very difficult. That is why Bhakti Yoga is much more sublime and it is enjoyable. Attaining yoga perfection, but this process, devotional service to Lord, is easiest. Not only is it is the easiest process, but the result is sublime. Everyone should therefore try to take this process of Krishna consciousness and reach the highest perfection of life. Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Grantraj Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Om Tats. Thank you so much for giving me this opportunity to discuss Krishna Katha. I have thoroughly enjoyed in your association, and I really hope that this purifies me, and maybe I'm hoping it is beneficial to you also. Please forgive my mistakes. Thank you for bearing with me. And if you have anything to add, anything you want to, any realizations? Sorry, I cannot see any devotees, so I do not even know who's, I can't see anyone there, but I'm sure you're all there. And thank you so much. Hare Krishna. Vanchakalpatarubhyascha kripa
कृपा
sindhubhya
सिन्धुभ्य एव च
patitanam
पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो
Sorry for
नमः
taking time extra.
Koti
Thank you
Vaishnava
so much for the
ki
wonderful class,
jai.
Mataji. Yeah.
Thank you, Mataji.
Yeah.
Very nice class. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mataji.
Hare Krishna, everyone.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you,
Thank
Mataji.
you, Mataji. Wonderful class.